Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. Look at the sky. We are not alone. The whole universe is friendly to us and conspires only to give the best to those who dream and work. Let your mind alone, and see what happens. It is far better to be alone than to be in bad company. Loneliness adds beauty to life. It puts a special burn on sunsets and makes night air smell better. Every man must do two things alone. He must do his own believing and his own dying. To live alone is the fate of all great souls. The strongest man in the world is he who stands most alone. All men's miseries derive from not being able to sit in a quiet room alone. Every man is born as many men and dies as a single one. It is strange to be known so universally and yet to be so lonely. The time you feel lonely is the time you most need to be by yourself. When the people you love are gone, you're alone. I restore myself when I'm alone. If you are lonely when you're alone, you are in bad company. Loneliness is the poverty of myself. Solitude is the richness of self. Loneliness is my least favorite thing about life. The thing that I'm most worried about is just being alone without anybody to care for or someone who will care for me. I paint self-portraits because I am so often alone, because I am the person I know best. You cannot be lonely if you like the person you're alone with. I never said, I want to be alone. I want to be left alone. There is all the difference. You only grow when you are alone. A man is born alone and dies alone. And he experiences the good and bad consequences of his karma alone. And he goes alone to hell or the supreme abode. If you make friends with yourself, you will never be alone. You come into the world alone, and you go out of the world alone. Yet it seems to me you are more alone while living than even going and coming. Then stirs the feeling infinite, so felt in solitude, where we are least alone. We are all sentenced to solitary confinement inside our own skins, for life. What a lovely surprise to finally discover how unlonely being alone can be. Pray that your loneliness may spur you into finding something to live for, great enough to die for. Life could be wonderful if people would leave you alone. The only real progress lies in learning to be wrong all alone. As I get older, I'm more and more comfortable being alone. Nothing makes us so lonely as our secrets. The best part about being alone is that you really don't have to answer to anybody. You do what you want. Remember, we're all in this alone. We allow our ignorance to prevail upon us and make us think we can survive alone. Alone in patches. Alone in groups. Alone in races. Even alone in genders. All of our unhappiness comes from our inability to be alone. I am prone before you. Pity me, and drench me in loneliness. If it's true that our species is alone in the universe, then I'd have to say the universe aimed rather low and settled for very little. To be adult is to be alone. Is he alone who has courage on his right hand, and faith on his left hand? To go out with the setting sun on an empty beach is to truly embrace your solitude. I think the greatest amount of pressure and the pressure I place on myself. So in a way I chose to be alone. I was never less alone than when by myself. There's a tremendous difference between alone and lonely. You could be lonely in a group of people. I like being alone. I like eating by myself. I go home at night and just watch a movie or hang out with my dog. I have to exert myself and really say, "Oh God, I've got to say my friends, 'cause I'm too content being myself." Only the lonely know the way I feel tonight. I wanted to be with those who know secret things, or else alone. I've also seen that great men are often lonely. This is understandable, because they have built such high standards for themselves that they often feel alone. But the same loneliness is part of their ability to create. Living alone makes it harder to find someone to blame. The eternal quest of the individual human being is to shatter his loneliness. When everything is lonely, I can be my best friend. It is very easy to love alone. I may climb perhaps to no great heights, but I will climb alone. Inside myself is a place where I live all alone, and that is where I renew my springs that ever dry up. I feel and think much as you do, care about many of the things you care about, although most people do not care about them. You are not alone. He that can live alone resembles the brute beast in nothing, the sage in much, and God in everything.